Hello, everybody. Welcome to our show. Yes, live from Denver. It is Friday night. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Critical Conversations. And as always, I am joined by my beautiful, intelligent, and amazing wife, Melissa. Hey, baby.
Hey, hello, everyone.
So, welcome to our show. This is our call-in show. The call-in line, 984-214-4154. Feel free to call in at any time and talk to us about anything you'd like. But the sort of theme for tonight is social media. We have discussed social media before. It's kind of a multi-layered, endless kind of topic to discuss, though. And since I took the radical step of getting completely off social media this last week, my life has gotten a lot calmer. My headspace has gotten a lot calmer. And so I thought, well, we can always talk about that. And I want to hear from you guys as well about, your thoughts and experiences and attitudes and feelings about all of this as well. But before we go anywhere, you have I was bad last week, and I did not let her share her quote. That was bad, Chris, publicly acknowledging that. So, without further ado or delay, I would like you to please share that and your thoughts about it.
Yes, this is one about new beginnings and that kind of thing. So it is, we must be willing to get rid of the life we've planned so as to have the life that is waiting for us. The old skin has to be shed before the new one can come. And that's Joseph Campbell.
Huh. And
Yeah.
what is that mean for you? What is that important?
You have to let go of the old stuff and your old ways of being in order to get what you want and be the thing you want to be,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny because sometimes people ask also, when you stop wanting the thing or when you stop waiting for it or whatever, then it shows up. And I wonder if part of that might also include letting go of some of our expectations,
Yes.
along those same pattern lines. Maybe.
Yeah, expectations, man. They really can screw you up.
I mean, you say, it's obviously, you can reverse that and go, no. You should have some expectations. I got to have some standards here. But yes, exactly. Hey, critics. Hey, everybody in the comments. I'm so happy to see you here. Henny and Hey Hun and One Track and all you guys. But our little community here, we really, really appreciate you guys showing up. And I was actually just a tiny bit scared because I was like, oh, damn, I'm not sharing the link on Twitter this week. But the show has been on. We've been doing this for well over a year now. And
almost 2, I think.
Yeah, I think that's actually true.
Yeah.
I got to find out more about what's going on over in the Ukraine, but on that, I'm not up to speed on that. Can't really comment on it too much. And of course, Ukrainian Russian foreign affairs is far from my area of expertise, except when I start talking about the government structures and the culty stuff that goes on there. That stuff I know about, but and I know some things. I can speak intelligently about some things about Russian religious influences and why they are so down on sex and cults over there to an extremist degree, because it has to do with government protection, that sort of thing, But anyway, guys. So happy to see you guys here. Yeah, I thought that I'm probably sharing some of your thinking on that, but I'll find out more about that before I talk too much about it. But social media, on the other hand, one thing I wanted to say right off, as I was telling Mel about this right away on just a couple days after kind of hitting the eject button on Twitter, it was not a total impulse move. In fact, it wasn't really an impulse move at all. It was a final straw thing, but it was something I'd been thinking about for weeks, maybe a couple months when I first mentioned the idea of it. I'd built up this nice following and stuff, and I liked sharing dad jokes and stuff, but I just don't engage well. And some people just really are just so nasty, and I just, I can't ugh, drives me nuts. But what I wanted to share was getting out of there. I was a little surprised that I didn't have more like, gotta go back, gotta go back. I really did hit that eject button pretty hard. And it was really interesting. I wanted to share this with you guys. It was really interesting that somehow over the years or over the time that I've been on social media, but Facebook and Twitter, it's like all these people, all these identities that you connect with online, like become little voices in your head because it got so quiet after that was all gone. I wasn't no longer having, I wasn't having conversations with myself, I guess, anymore with other people who exist online,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And of course, reducing that conflict out of your life. Yeah, Mark, of course. David Miscavige is going to be the last guy who's going to want to get on social media. He has zero interest in interacting with anybody outside of his circle. He's one thing about these control guys, these guys who are hardcore controllers, and Miscavige definitely is one of those guys. Is they don't want to put themselves into some milieu, into some scenario or situation where they're not managing every aspect of the image of what they're presenting, of their branding, their image, whatever you want to call it. So Miscavige is never going to go anywhere near some place where he's going to be exposed to criticism of what he's doing or who he is or what he's about. That's why you don't see him talking to reporters or the media or anything anymore either. Not in decades. It's not gonna go there. Yeah, Fifth Amendment. Yeah, you're definitely better off without a Twitter account. Yeah, yeah, definitely. So where I wanted to go with that though was, there's a little bit of an idea out there on some people's minds, or it's been defended, social media platforms have been defended as it's us, it's not the platform. It's, humans corrupt everything. Mm-hmm. It's what you do with it. It's not, you can safely engage. There's no problems. If you're nice, other people will be nice and all that.
You could try to be nice and it'll just be misinterpreted as you're being a jerk. That happens, all the time.
Yes, I never experienced any of that.
No, I've never experienced that either.
No, try to offer somebody some advice.
I've never misunderstood anything that someone wrote in text form instead of verbally saying. That's never happened.
No, not at all. So, I was so there's this defense, this apologia, this sort of justification or reason why it's really fine that millions of people be addicted to these platforms because it's us, it's not the platforms, right? Guns don't kill people, exactly, right? People kill people. Mm-hmm. The Facebook doesn't troll you, people troll you, right? This kind of thing. Well, yes. That is true. However, the algorithms, it's not a neutral vacuum platform. It's not like it just sits there waiting for your input and then gives you all of this beautiful output.
Right.
It's not that at all, right? And I'm talking specifically about social media now, not news media. Which builds itself on top of these platforms, which Google has based. So the media is latched on to this platform, which itself has a business model of addicting its products, because we're its products, we're not its users, we're its products. So it wants us on board often. Oh
yeah, clicking on all the ads, buying all the dumb stuff.
That's right. Reading all the articles that could ever be of interest to us. And so you are carefully being monitored, surveilled, and fed custom information for you, or what Google has represented as you.
Yeah, the things you've clicked on, searched, bought, whatever.
Exactly. And this is, there's a lot of different little technical feats and things that I don't even know anymore because it's all gone past my understanding of that stuff. As far as how the coding works. I mean, for example, there's cookies on your browser, which are tracking where you're going and what you're looking at. That's being fed into this. But there are also storage places, where they just keep files on you, information on you. And that representation, that digital representation of you is what it's feeding back to you and then self-correcting itself as it goes to more finely tune your digital representation of who you are. And that gets sold to advertisers, or that information is valuable. Clusters and clusters of that information is incredibly valuable. When you know her buying habits, okay, but when you know
everybody,
when you know 50,000 people whose buying habits are just like hers, and you can then target that, right? That becomes much more powerful in your manipulative technique of being able to get that person's attention, insert thoughts into that person's brain in order to get them to want, feel the need for or desire for your product, and then go fulfill that need by purchasing it. That's the process, right? Real simple. We have a couple of calls coming in, so we are going to pick them up because I am anxious to talk to you guys. Kevin, hello.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good.
Yeah, pretty good. How are you today?
Oh, not too bad. Hey, I was calling to ask you what your thoughts are on trying to curtail medical misinformation and pseudoscience on social media.
I would love for them to do that. Especially as someone with multiple chronic conditions, and I know, and I shouldn't have, but I know I've gotten into arguments with people about the stupid things people believe about type 1 diabetes, and that's just got to stop because that's dangerous. That's dangerous for the people that have those diseases because they might take that information and end up hurting themselves or worse.
Yeah.
So Kevin, were you referring to on a one-on-one level or from a platform level, or both?
Both, I would say.
Yeah.
I know Facebook tries, but putting a disclaimer on something only goes so far.
That's right.
And I'm not really one for censorship per se, but what do you do?
Exactly.
And when you do shut people down, then you have this whole backfire effect phenomenon that takes place, and some people would actually make them dig in further when that happens.
That's right. Or become convinced.
I'm at a loss.
Yeah, convinced of the powers that be are doing something bad. Yeah.
That's right. That's how conspiracy theories form.
I'm quite honestly at a loss as far as what to do, to be quite honest with you.
I hear you, Kevin. I hear you. Individually, other than being a rational lighthouse in in the darkness of ignorance that we are sometimes surrounded by when we know about things that other people around us don't know about, other than being that kind of lighthouse for information you can share and give to people freely and without obligation. You just if I were going to go back on social media or go back into that world, it would not be to engage with people.
Yeah.
Because you half the time you don't even know who you're engaging with. And if it's a friend of yours, then you're not going to be engaging like that, generally speaking. But if you do, you can do it in private, between the two of you. You don't have to do it in some public forum,
Absolutely. And I know there's the whole street epistemology thing, those types of techniques, but I don't know how well that crosses over to social media. And
well, I'll tell you, I'll share with you that Peter Boghossian, the guy who actually came up with street epistemology, flat out said to me and the Hub when he came and spoke that it doesn't work on social media. That's not what it was designed for. And it's too. And I would agree because of course you don't have that personal connection. There's so much more obligation we feel when we are personally connecting with somebody in terms of how we relate to them than anonymously online, where there's no real obligation to be civil or even tell the truth, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we can only do what we can do individually to try to correct it. There's only certain things that we have control over, and I just hate to see that it got to the point that certain people and certain practices like chiropractic medicine have been so well established now that people actually think they're legitimate.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But we've been struggling against misinformation well before the internet. Advertising for
absolutely
vitamins and all that crap, Herbalife and all that. That's what started the MLM, the multi-level marketing thing. That's been legal forever. I mean, the internet is, again, has just exacerbated a problem that already existed.
Absolutely. My personal experience with it is I have, and I wouldn't say friends, but I know a few people who take their all of their health information from people that they call doctors, and I ask them what kind of doctors they are, and of course they're chiropractors. And it's like, well, you know that they're not actually trained medical professionals in the same way as a doctor of osteopathic medicine here in the U.S. or a medical doctor as well. Yeah, but they specialize in the spine. Well, yeah, but no.
Exactly.
At the same time.
Yeah, there's just I'm okay with some snaps and that kind of thing, but as far as all the woo peddling that goes on in that industry, it is rife with it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God! All the way from magnets and crystals and homeopathic bullshit to those muscle testing. Remember that stupid muscle test? You ever had that done on you? Where
no.
Let me show everybody on screen. What you do is you hold up an arm or a limb. And then you go, okay, I want you to hold this up as, I want you to resist me pushing down on this, right? So you hold your arm up, and I can't push it down, right?
Yeah.
And then I take a bottle or a can or something of something like that I'm going to now say you're allergic to or have a problem with, like put it up against your body, and suddenly I'm pushing your arm down,
right? Yeah, because I'm distracted.
Yeah, because you can't resist it now that this thing is up against your body, see? And that means that this substance in this can is
magical.
Is affecting your system, and so therefore you have a deficiency or an overabundance or whatever the dumbass interpretation of this is,
That almost seems like a sleight of hand type thing.
Yeah. And I had this done many times when I was a Scientologist by Scientology chiropractors, right? So it's just, what insanity.
I mean, what you just showed me right there kind of reminds me of the faith healing thing where they do where they say that you have one leg that's longer than the other, and then they pull on your shoe and make it look like they're straightening your legs out.
That's right. That's exactly. So it just seems like, there's a little bit of, that feels a little bit better. Good. And a whole lot of nonsense that just gets mixed up into that. And that's my problem with chiropractic. And I think yours too,
Yeah. And then we can get into the fact that insurance covers it. That's a whole nother show in itself.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin, thanks for calling in with this. I got somebody else in the queue. So
no problem.
Awesome, man. Thank you for calling in.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye-bye. All right. And boy, he's not wrong. We can talk a little bit more about this after the calls, but any one of us can easily go into despair on this. If we try to tackle the problem of social media. I think though that if we are contributing to conversations like I'm trying to do now, where we kind of start seeing that maybe this isn't so good for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's already happening.
Yeah.
I think
I know so many people who've quit or taken long breaks or,
Exactly. And its popularity, I I could be seeing too much into this, and there's a lot of platforms and a lot of places to go. So don't get me wrong. This is just the beginning of this, but I think that we are seeing a decline in the acceptance and interest in this because of the scary, stupid stuff that they did to build it, in the first place. Let's pick up this call. I believe this is Adria, I think. Hello.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Melissa.
Hello.
Adria, hello.
It's Adria.
How are you today?
Hello. I am very happy today because I just got my booster shot for the COVID vaccine.
Oh, good.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Yay.
Thanks. I was just eligible this week, so yay.
Good. Is this your first booster then?
Well, yes.
Yeah,
I'm
cool.
not aware of second boosters, except for immunocompromised.
Yeah.
people.
Sorry, I didn't mean to enter confusion in there, but I know some people had been doing that, so that's why I asked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've actually, now I have gotten all three. I started out with J&J, then, the advice was to get a 2-dose vaccine, so I got the Pfizer, and then today I got the Moderna booster because I hear, they were saying mixing and matching is good, and so I was like, yay, now I've gotten all three. Collect them all.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So anyway, that's not why I was calling in, but I'm very happy to promote that. Yay. Follow science, get vaccinated, if you can. Anyway, the thing I was calling in about is related to the social media thing, but it's actually harkening back to your recent podcast with Rachel Bernstein and emotional needs.
Yeah.
So I want to relate emotional needs to social media, but also to one other thing, and that is vaccines. Funny enough. So I know for me, I use social media. I use social media, and the worst of the worst, Facebook, because when I went to grad school. And even before then, I went to schools where I made friends from all over the world. And that is a platform where they are all, they're all on there. So it's a way for me to keep in contact with these people.
Yep.
And to see what's going on in their life, see, what cool things they're doing. Like one of my friends from high school moved to Australia and does wildlife conservation.
Wow.
Nice.
So, it's fun to watch what he's up to. And, and that's just one example.
That's right.
So, I use it for the emotional needs of connection to community, emotional connection with people who are really far away and that I don't have time to write, long emails back and forth with, and they don't have time to write me letters back and forth because, they're married, they have children, they have jobs. So, I use it for that, even though I understand that it's built on some really bad stuff. But, it meets that emotional need for me.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Let me ask a question, and I'm not asking you this out of challenge or out of debate. Even it's just a question that occurred to me, so I thought I'd ask. Do you think over time, because of the fact that we engage more socially, let's say, I don't want to assume or throw value judgments in here by saying we associate more shallowly than we used to pre-internet, where we would write letters or have long phone calls with people when we had friends on the other side of the world or pen pals on the other side of the country or whatever, and we would take the time to engage more. Not all of us and not all the time, but it would have the effect of you had a friend base of people who you did maintain whatever degree of it was comfortable, it was close, whatever degree you wanted. But you weren't trying to manage socially, or, you know, less so, hundreds of friends.
Right.
I mean, you can't, you know, unless you're a professional letter writer, you don't have hundreds of, right?
Right.
And I'm wondering, do you think that has made, do you think what I'm saying is true? And if it is, has that caused a change in the quality of our relationships with one another?
Well, I look at it this way.
Yeah.
As someone who has had pen pals from all over the world, and funny enough, we are now friends on Facebook. We were pen pals when we were little girls in Girl Scouts. She lives in New Zealand, and now we found each other again on Facebook, you know, useful tool for that. And I've been pen pals with people in prison, so it's like I haven't had just one pen pal. I've had pen pals. I think that social media gives us a chance to have different levels of relationships. I have really close friends that we can go really deep. And, you know, they could call me at 3 a.m. I can call them at 3 a.m. And whatever it is, we drop it. We are there for each other. We talk about things very deeply. But then I also have more casual acquaintances, especially people from high school and college and all who have gone on. And I enjoy maintaining those acquaintances. And sometimes if I am in the area where my acquaintances, then we can get together and have a good in-person catch up and stuff like that. So I see it more as having the opportunity for different levels of connection, even though I do think people try to substitute social media as, instead of having those good friendships and having those, you know, deeper connections and having those close pen pals and such.
Right. So I guess we could end up there with a, there's pros and cons.
Right.
There. There's that's a coin that has a good side and a bad side to it, as far as what we were, as far as your answer. That's a great answer. That's good. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Thanks. I'd also like to enter in an analogy.
Yeah.
You wouldn't go to a coffee stand to get a turkey dinner. So social media is the coffee stand. You go there to get a coffee, maybe a biscuit.
I like this idea. You
don't go there for your turkey dinner.
Yes. I like that idea.
So,
that's a good one, Adria.
Well, thank you. I stole that from a counselor named Carolyn Merriman, who has her own podcast called The Carolyn Merriman Show. So just so you know, I got that from someone who has her degree and stuff on relational stuff. But yeah, you don't go to a coffee stand for a turkey dinner.
There you go.
So that's just a thought. And then I also wanted to, thank you. If I may, I would also like to tell you something I plan on doing. And I think it would be great to see you do it if you want to do it. When you were talking with Rachel Bernstein about these emotional needs, I was really strongly thinking about the anti-vax movement. And then you brought up the anti-vax movement. And I was like, I was just thinking that. So yeah, same track on that. I was thinking, though, on my social media that I use, of posting, you know, these emotional needs and the pro and con arguments for vaccination as they relate to the emotional needs. So I'm pro-vaccination, and it speaks to, you know, my desire for safety, because I don't want to, you know, get COVID or have deleterious effects from getting COVID. And I want others to be safe too from getting COVID or the deleterious effects from it. And then it speaks to my desire for autonomy, because if I am vaccinated, I feel free then to do more. and to, that I can interact with people without getting harmed and without harming others, I feel free to do that then.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the anti-vax side, they're saying that, the vaccines themselves are not safe.
Mm-hmm.
And that, they don't want to be forced to be vaccinated, be it the emotional need for autonomy.
Yep.
So I was thinking of breaking down those arguments on Facebook, because I do have pro-vaccination and anti-vax friends, and, just laying it out there like, hey, these are valid emotional needs, and this is what each side is articulating on how to meet these emotional needs, just so people could think about it, so people can understand how their emotions are playing into their decision-making process, whichever one they're choosing.
Yep. I think that's a great idea.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, I was thinking you might do something like that, but that's something I plan personally on doing and sharing with my friends, because emotions do really drive our decision-making process a lot more than we realize.
Correct. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
No, and more, like I said, I was surprised, and I shouldn't have been, that, that a very, that a helpful viewer, pointed out to me, yeah, dude, I didn't even know I had emotional needs. So you're talking about emotional needs. Like what are those? Right. So anything to do to raise awareness on that, or even present to people that they've got them. And then how these things apply to them will be very helpful for anybody who reads that, as far as food for thought. That's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I knew I had emotional needs, but I couldn't articulate them very well.
Yeah.
Because I have had a bunch of counseling, but I never heard about, these 9 particular categories of emotional needs. I was able to say I need this emotionally, but I didn't realize it fit into a larger category. And I find that a very useful tool. Not to say it limits, we can only talk about these 9.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a useful tool to help understand and help talk about things.
That's
it's a framework to hang other things on.
You got it. Totally got it. So, and I can't wait. We're going to be doing, we're going to be recording part 2 of that with Rachel next week. So you guys can look forward to more of that coming soon. So.
Yay! Well, it will be eagerly anticipated.
Excellent. All right, Adria, I got to let you go because I got calls in the queue.
Awesome.
Thanks for calling in.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
What a great call. Okay, let's pick right up on this one. And I believe this is Katie. Hello.
Hi there.
Hi. You have been very patient waiting. Thank you.
Oh, no problem at all. Actually, it got to me quicker than I thought. Excuse me. One of my pet peeves is people that will only communicate via text message or email. Mm-hmm. They don't want to talk to you. You don't have time for a phone call, or whatever. And it's just, and they get into these long conversations, and I'm like, if you've got something, say, call me. And, but they don't have time for that, or something. I don't know what the deal is, but it's really frustrating for me.
Yeah, I get that. It can be frustrating, especially for those of us who, remember how well it was beforehand, before all this internet nonsense,
conversations in person or talk on the phone for an hour or something.
Excuse me.
Oh, yeah, and just, hearing voices and picking up on emotions and whatnot that the voice can portray. It's just, I don't understand. But, and these are old friends that, I've got a long-term relationship with, but suddenly it's just, I'll send you something at the wee hours of the morning or whatever. And I'm like, well, fine, thanks. And,
yeah.
Another point that I've got is, well, we keep saying the government should do something about misinformation. That's an inane request because our government officials themselves are spreading misinformation.
Yeah.
Good point.
Certain ones are, yeah.
I've made several posts on different platforms where, if you think that the politicians are correct about COVID or whatever, the next time you have a heart attack, you get cancer, you need stitches, you break a bone, call your congressman.
Right.
Don't bother about the doctor. Just call your congressman. Show up at your state capitol and look for the emergency room. So.
Well, thank you, Katie, for that. You're not wrong.
No.
You're not wrong at all. It's a complicated problem because of exactly some of the stuff you're talking about.
But thank you for your time. Thank you for your show. And one last thing, in watching you and some Mormon shows, Jehovah's Witnesses, the one thing that it's done for me is taught me to have a little kinder heart and a little more patience for all these people that get involved with this. They're not stupid, it's not crazy, misinformed, indoctrinated, and all that. But denigrating them doesn't make anything better.
That's right. Thank you very much for saying that. I'm really glad that message has gotten through. Thank you.
But thank you both for all you do, and y'all hang in there, and hope your the rest of your year is just beyond wonderful.
Awesome.
Oh,
Thanks,
you.
Katie. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
What a great call.
Yeah.
How nice. That's exactly what we're trying to do. Get that across to folks.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We've got one more call in the queue. Let's go ahead and pick this up. Hello, is this Bill?
No, this is Gail.
Gail.
You can know me by now. Good evening. How are both of you?
Oh,
Melissa and Chris.
Hey, we're good. How are you tonight?
I'm fine, thank you. And I have a lot of emotional needs. I'm having a heart attack. I think I'll call my congressman. I heard something today that was very disturbing, and I watch a lot of Scientology channels, and they said that the government gave some orgs money. I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Scientology doesn't need any more money. What the hell are they thinking? And how can they be a business and a religion at the same time?
I know.
It makes no sense.
I know. Well, the government gave a lot of churches money but they're
not really.
Those PPP loans.
Oh, I'm sorry,
right?
I interrupted you.
No. You're fine. You're fine. I'm sorry. I just wanted to clarify. It's for those COVID payroll loans and stuff they were doing, right?
Yes,
yeah.
But Scientology doesn't seem to pay anyone anything.
No.
Including the staff.
No, they should not have gotten that money. They should not have gotten that money.
I mean, it's very, very disturbing because the government money was to bail out businesses so they could do payrolls.
That's right.
But Scientology has tax exemption because they call themselves a church. So it's really ambivalent. It's a double bind, which I would love. But it's just really disturbing. I thought about writing to the government. I don't know how to stop it. I mean, a lot of people are trying to stop it, but we're not succeeding. And this is just awful. One thing they don't need is more money.
You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right about that. It was a fraudulent move on the Scientology's part, and unfortunately on the part of many churches and businesses out there to take advantage of that free money, and they did so. And Scientology is a criminal operation, and it is a money-making scam. So it is zero surprise that they did that, and it's unfortunate and pretty sick that they got away with it. And it's one of basically a litany of crimes that they have committed. So
I'm so angry. I went to the dentist. They want $16,000, and I don't have $16,000. Why can't I get my dental coverage is like $1,700. Why can't I get better dental coverage?
Right.
And they're getting everything they want. It just makes me very angry. Anyway, I have another question. I heard, now, Doctor Strange is my favorite MCU. I thought it was so much fun. You know, hey, superpowers, oh boy. But anyway, I heard in the second one, they had Tom Cruise. Please tell me they did not hire him.
Yeah, I have only heard rumors on this, okay? And I've heard that there's a rumor that Tom Cruise might do a cameo as an alternate universe Iron Man character. And this is just a rumor. I can't confirm it. I can't deny it. I hope it's not true. But, you know, what are we going to do? We'll see what happens, but that's all I know about that one right now.
I was so angry when I heard it because he's such a spoiled narcissist.
Yes.
Every goddamn, pardon my language, but he gets every friggin' thing he wants. And he doesn't. I love Robert Downey Jr. was wonderful. Tom Cruise should. If there's reincarnation, he should reincarnate as the poorest person on the planet. he a bug. I mean, he's just, I don't know, and I do not understand, and then I'll let you go because I don't want to be too long. I do not understand how people who actually believe in reincarnation can be so vindictive because it's not only a past life, it's a future life. So that they know that they're screwing things up. They don't understand the concept at all.
No, they don't. And it is kind of funny how people can get, you know, their egos wrapped up with their beliefs and get really mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the concept of it is totally, if you talk to a Hindu, it's totally different. They're just, I don't know, they're just crazy. But the money thing is what really disturbs me. They can believe whatever the hell they want, but this money,
yeah.
And I heard about millionaires who are giving them money. Yeah. And the government, oh my God, please help us stop them.
I'm working on it. Believe me, we are working on it, and we'll continue to do so.
Thank you for all your work on this. Thank you to Leah and John and Mike, everybody. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you very much.
Adios.
Bye-bye. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, guys. Just checking in on the comments here, see how we're doing. Yes. Yeah, that Tom Cruise thing, like I said, it's a rumor right now. I did see an article about it. We'll see what happens with it. You know, whatever. I don't want, you know, Cruise in the MCU, but what am I going to, you know, who cares, right?
Powered, yeah.
Exactly. All right. Yeah, exactly. See, that's the thing, guys. It's, you know, just popping in on the comments here. And, oh, hey, look at that. We got a troll.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. See ya. Bye-bye. It's always so fun. It's so funny to me that you know, I got this you know, really tiny little live stream.
Yeah,
and like every time
there's so weird
somebody coming around,
spam stuff.
it's just like, what? Really? Anyway, whatever. Yes, exactly. There are celebrities who are known as atheist, freethinkers, skeptics.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think right now of.
I mean, like Ricky Gervais, kind of.
Oh God, of course, Ricky Gervais. Oh, and Stephen Fry. Jesus, I mean, he's one of the most articulate.
Yeah.
Incredibly intelligent man.
Mm-hmm,
Stephen Fry is. He's a British comedian and actor and writer. And I mean, anyway, yeah, pretty cool guy. There's a few. Actually, this isn't really like super celeb level, but just in terms of ironic atheists is Ronald Reagan's son. Mm-hmm. He shows up on commercials to do stuff. But there's a few out there. Steve Mnuchin? No, not Mnuchin. Not the Tresh guy. Who was the singer? Who has all those great songs that make you think? Not Manch. I don't know. I can't remember now. I apologize. Can't remember that guy's name. If I pulled it up, anyway.
Yeah.
That guy.
Okay.
All right. That's it. Tim Minchin.
There you go.
There it is. Thank you, Kiva, for that. Yes, it is true. There was a article. I just read this today. Xen. Is it true David Miscavige has reached an agreement with Clearwater City Manager John Jennings to get the Clearwater Aquarium piece of land he's been wanting for many years? What has happened is a preliminary agreement, and all that is actually written down or agreed upon so far is that a couple of buildings that are owned by Scientologists, we don't know who. It's who they are is not something that's a public record. But Scientologist-owned properties, not Church of Scientology owned properties that are owned by individual Scientologists, are going to be renovated in accord with the Clearwater Downtown Renovations Project or whatever. And that's what's been agreed upon so far. But the idea, the tit for tat here is we'll do that from Scientology's end, and Clearwater will then play ball and get Scientology that property that they want, that they fought so hard for, and that the aquarium refused to sell to the Church of Scientology, sold it to the Clearwater City instead. Now John Jennings, the Clearwater City manager, is saying, okay, well, we can make a deal. Let's make a deal. And they are communicating this as though, oh yeah, Hugh Laurie. That's the other guy.
Yeah.
Hugh Laurie is brilliant on that stuff. It was Laurie and Fry.
Mm-hmm.
Their show was amazing. Anyway, so nothing's been worked out yet as far as that property's being handed over or even fully agreed upon, because the city council has to have a say in that. So that's what I understand from what I read today and Mark Bunker's comment on that. So it's a work in progress, and yeah, it's not necessarily what we really want to be seeing out of that, but we already know that this John Jennings guy is a total dupe, and so we cannot rely on him to push back against Scientology. He just doesn't get it, or he's bought off. It's one of the two, because he doesn't have any other excuses. Well, I mean, it could be that he's a smart guy and he just doesn't get it, like he's ignorant, or it could be that he's just so dumb that he's incapable of getting it. I'm not feeling generous about that man or that situation, because you know what we know, so screw that guy. Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. It's a parcel of land. This is much more of a even if he gets it, even if he ends up maneuvering everything and gets it, it's a symbolic, sort of, what's it, Pyrrhic win or something? I forgot that. It's not like he's taking over Clearwater because he gets this parcel. It's just a parcel of land, but we don't want Scientology gaining any ground in Clearwater. They already, it's already ridiculous there. So hopefully next month, I think it is, Aaron Smith-Levin's, the vote goes in for the Clearwater City Council, and Aaron's been beating the streets, knocking on doors, because that's apparently what gets votes. And so that's what he's been working on, and people have been financially supporting him. Leah, I think a couple weeks ago, did a live stream support show for him, to try to encourage Clearwater citizens to vote for him, and I think it's working. So we will find out how that goes. But Pyrrhic victory, there it is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's too great a cost. Yeah, it was my misuse on my part. That wasn't really what I meant. I was referring to like a hollow victory.
Okay.
That's the term I was looking for, was like a hollow, empty shell of a victory. Like, yeah, you get the parcel, great, Miscavige, but at the end of the day,
what does it mean? Yeah.
What does that really mean? Who knows? As far as I can tell, this guy has been pursuing it so hard. I think there's buried treasure there, according to L. Ron Hubbard or something. I mean, who knows what this is all about? But it's pretty stupid. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, guys, on that clarification. Now, not putting you on the spot at all, but did you have other things you wanted to discuss or go over? Because I didn't want to.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
I feel like I'm doing a lot better on social media than I used to, and that's good. And I don't go on it as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Noticeably so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I'll say I did want to, since we do have a few minutes here, I did want to throw out something I haven't really been able to talk about publicly yet, which we're getting really excited about, which is the new Batman movie.
Oh yeah.
And the reason why I am personally really pumped about this Matt Reeves version of the Batman is because it's dark and gritty, and not in the way that the DC universe decided to go with this dark, gritty, humorless sort of approach.
Yeah.
It looks a bit different from that. It's the comic book, but it's focusing on Batman as a detective more so than an action hero. And it is focusing on that, we're following a course here, and while following that course, we run into all these, crazy supervillain type characters, and the plot, extends forward that way. And I've been keeping myself off of spoilers, but the reason I'm so excited about it is because from every trailer and shot I've seen of this is the Batman I have wanted to see ever since Nolan's Batman came out, which you can look back on and criticize, but it was quite a new look.
Yeah.
For when it came out, right? I mean, 89 Batman came out, and that was very intensively comic book origins and campy but serious and all of it kind of mixed together. But but then we get this new incarnation with Nolan, and it's a much more serious look at it.
Yeah.
And this goes even more so into that but still, it's still Batman. It's still a fantasy world, but it's a lot darker and grittier and more real as far as the criminal element and the motivations there, and who is this guy, and if somebody really appeared that way, what would they have to look like and sound like, and all of that. So I'm very, very, very much looking forward to it, more so than I've ever looked forward to any other version of a Batman before. So that's
I'm excited.
My thing. It's my thing. It's what I'm into. She, by the way, is Batman.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's undisputed.
Yeah. Right there.
I wanted to be Batman when I was a kid.
Yeah. Not Batgirl. Batman.
I was going to be Batman.
That's right. All right, let's start moving toward wrapping up the show, guys. This has been fun, and I really, really, really have enjoyed talking to you guys, by the way. So I want to encourage in our future episodes for y'all to keep calling in. I love talking to you guys. Okay, yeah, the old Detective
Pick a
Comics.
card, any card. Let's go.
We're going to do our critical thinking cards.
In-group bias.
The famous in-group bias. All right, so these are cards of logical fallacies and cognitive biases, right? These are reasons we don't think so good. And this bias, the in-group bias, you unfairly favor those who belong to your group. What?
Big surprise.
We do that?
What?
We presume that we're fair and impartial. But the truth is that we automatically favor those who are most like us or belong to our groups. Try to imagine yourself in the position of those in out groups, whilst also attempting to be dispassionate when judging those who belong to your groups.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, try.
Try.
See
if that's easy.
Yeah. See how easy that. See how that works out for you. Oh yes, my thesis is still being graded. We do not expect grades back for probably 3 weeks right now, because it's been like a week or two or something. So I was told it's about a 3 to 4 week lag to get our grades back on that, and I'm not exactly sure what happens after that in terms of what other process has to happen for me to get the actual
degree.
Sheepskin or whatever they call it, right? So that's That's where I'm at on that. Okay, so I'll definitely keep you guys informed. I'm not posting my thesis until after I've got it graded and worked out that that's the thing I should do, or maybe I should turn it into something more publishable and hold off on giving it out or putting it around until I have it in more publishable form. That's the question I have right now before I can promise that I'm absolutely positively gonna do that. So we will see how that goes. Yes, I do know that. Thank you very much. I am absolutely not putting my value on the my grade. However, I've already accomplished the goal that I wanted to accomplish, which is understanding coercive control at an expert level and being able to talk intelligently about it and think with it, and doing original research that I know counts and I know matters, that gives insight and certainty to the fact that what L. Ron Hubbard did was wrong, and he did it on purpose, and he did it with vigor, and it was absolutely always about controlling and manipulating and taking advantage of people, and I've proven that, and that's all I wanted from this whole thing, is that ability to do that. So grade or not, and I'm confident I'm going to get a good grade, but whether I do or not, that's what I've done, and I'm very, very, very happy about that. So, and I look forward to doing more of it. All right, so guys, thank you very much for coming around and watching. One last thing before y'all go, please share this channel and this show and this channel around on the interwebs, because y'all are on the social medias and I am not, and so I want to advantage and leverage you critics for my personal gain. So so anyway, if y'all want to share this around, we can get more into our community and more viewers and subscribers. All right, guys. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.